This weekend, as we mentioned, Saturday, Paris Diamond League. No rest for the weary. A lot of these Americans who we saw in Des Moines are hopping on a plane, have already hopped on a plane, and are in Paris to kick off their Diamond League season. So we wanted to go around and check in on what your favorite event will be this weekend, or if it isn't on the schedule, what event you'd like to see. I'll lead off with this men's 200, or as Travis calls it, the 200. I'm not cool enough or young enough to say that anymore.
Gotta get hit, man.
Men's 200, you don't have everybody in there, but you have two names that I'm very, very fascinated with. One being Michael Norman, because we don't need to wait long to see him. He's scratched out of the final. And then his USC teammate there, you see him on the screen, Rai Benjamin. He'll be representing Antigua because the citizenship, or the IAAF representation hasn't gone through. But he will be making his professional debut. That's Rai Benjamin. And a lot of people forget, in the craziness that is 47.02, Rai Benjamin was third indoors in the 200. Third indoors in the 200.
And had the fastest split on that world record 4x4.
Right. So that's going to be fascinating to watch just for those two guys. A lot of the same names that you see going around the circuit are also in that 200, so it's not like you're getting, DeGrasse, Coleman, and Lyles. But for those two alone, that's my pick.
Does Lyles lose his world lead?
No.
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 Really?
No. He might at some point, but not in Paris.
Not in this race.
Lyles is going to lose his world lead to himself.
Yeah. That's a good bet. You're asking Norman, even, he left on Sunday, racing in 6 days, a long flight. Usually the first race off the plane is pretty tough. I'm not so sure the whole summer. I think we might have a different world leader by the end, but not this week. Travis, you're up next.
Yeah.
Paris
for those of you watching on Facebook and Twitter, keep the comments and questions coming in. We're going to pull up some of the best ones shortly, but we keep picking the same events and just different genders here. I'm going to go with the 200 as well. But going with the women, because of what Jenna Prandini did this past weekend, she went 22-4, 22-6, 22-2, looking fairly relaxed and comfortable through all the rounds and running into some headwinds as well. And she's definitely back to the kind of form that we're used to seeing her in. And I'm really excited. It's not a super deep field that she's going up against. There are a couple other women who can push her in that 22 low range. But seeing the kind of form she had this weekend when she was also running the 100-meter rounds as well, I'm really excited now to see what Prandini can do, just focus in on the two, see if we can see her dip back under 22 seconds.
For sure. JoJo, you got a race you're watching?
Yeah, well, I'm going to pick a field event.
Ooh.
Actually.
That's fair.
The men's pole vault. It's the only field event I get really excited about. Mondo Duplantis has taken down Sam Kendricks and Lavillenie this year,
That's right.
and he's going to go against both of them in this pole vault. And I want to know, how many Diamond Leagues does Mondo have to win before he just decides to go pro and not do NCAA at all? I mean, if he wins the Diamond League final, is it worth bypassing the prize money?
I mean, the first bit of prize money you potentially get, I would have gone. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy to think about how good he is globally. And the one person he hadn't beat, Kendricks, he beat.
Right.
Literally beating everybody
Yeah.
now at this point.
I
Lavillenie.
mean, Kendricks actually had one of the more interesting interviews, I felt like, of USA, so go check it out if you haven't. He talked a little bit about his undefeated season in 2017, and he called it the curse of the golden cuffs coming back in 2018. After that undefeated season and being the reigning world champion, and he's like, obviously I'm not the man I was last year. I haven't won everything, but I'm doing my best. So that was interesting to kind of, I mean, he's one of those people who comes in the mix zone and he's like the mayor of the pole vault. He has this monologue ready and tells you exactly what happened, but I felt like he did let a little emotion creep into that. So it'll be interesting to see how the European circuit goes for them.
The mayor of the pole vault is a really cool nickname. I don't know if you can.
I know, I think I stole that from someone.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard it before.
Call him the governor then. Gordon.
Here's something I want to see that we're not going to see this summer. I don't think if we're ever going to see it, because if I run down, this matchup is a matchup that viewers have been wanting to see for the past 2 years, and it never happens. Starting all the way back to indoors 2016 NCAAs, Clayton Murphy versus Donovan Brazier. Donovan Brazier is the young guy going against Murphy. Brazier DNFs in the prelims, so we never get to see that. Cut to outdoors 2016, Murphy decides to run the 1500s. You don't see it. Cut to the Olympic trials. Brazier doesn't make it through the rounds, so we don't see it. Cut to 2017, Murphy doesn't run in the 800-meter final because he tried to double, so then Brazier doesn't get to race him. Cut to indoors, Murphy doesn't make it to the final, indoor, and basically I'm keep on going. They've never raced each other in a championship final in 6 attempts.
Wow.
6 straight attempts when they could race in the championship final. They have not raced. And those are our 2 best 800-meter men, you could argue, in the U.S. with Donovan Brazier and Clayton Murphy. And our 2 different styles of running, and we never see it. And we're not going to see it because Brazier's hurt now. I mean, they did race at Melrose, but that doesn't count because Murphy was still trying to get back into his form. I mean, Murphy indoor Melrose was very different from Murphy now, and Brazier was different. You know, so man, come on, Murphy and Brazier. Let's just do a dual meet. Both the guys race each other on Christmas Day. We'll go up against the LeBron Lakers showdown, and we'll just do Murphy Brazier showdown. People are gonna love it.
I want you to bring this up every time we do this segment throughout the summer. Like, which matchup are you not going to get to see in the Diamond League? Well, let me tell you about Brazier and Murphy. They're cursed. That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah,
that is insane.
6 in a row.
It's not like one guy was like hurt for 2 years or something.
It's
like
all
that.
because of not qualifying to the final,
Yeah.
or Murphy doing the 1500.
That is strange.
Brazier DNSing. So.
Man.
And I could throw in Emmanuel Correa in that list too. We never really got to see, but he's Kenyan. So NCAA. Imagine an NCAA final with Emmanuel Correa, Donovan Brazier, and Clayton Murphy. That could have happened.
Yeah, yeah. That'd have been incredible. I mean, imagine USA's if Barron was still on his form and he had never gotten hurt, and then Brazier was fine too. I mean, that would have been crazy with Isaiah Harris, Murphy in the mix. I mean, that would have been a
and Drew Windle.
It was, yeah, exactly. I didn't even mention him, but that would have been a final where 6 guys could have won out of the 8. All right, let's get some social media highlights.